What's up, Thrashers, and welcome back once again to the Thrash Maniac 99 YouTube channel. And I'm back with yet another episode of Under the Radar. And this week we're talking about some albums that I didn't do full reviews for that came out on March 15th. And why don't we go ahead and get this party started with the first album I'm talking about, The Moor with Ombra. This is an Italian-based progressive metal band, dare I say even at times extreme progressive metal. And I wanted to check this one out based on the band name, The Moor. You can definitely tell they're heavily inspired by Opeth. So right away I was like, you know what? I gotta check this out for myself. And this album, so basically everything you get. So the opening intro, it's this like triumphant orchestra, and then right away you get into big triplet chugs that kind of scream death metal. There's even some black metal vocals that get peppered in on the second track, but also some really solid death roars are on here too. But the clean vocals are quite varied. Like, I actually think the clean vocals are pretty soothing for the most part. As far as other aspects of the album, you get more triplet chugs, some triplet swings to kind of give you a bit of that Opeth vibe. There's even some like melodic death metal riffs that come up here, as well as some occasional thrashy rhythms, some double time stomps come up here and there. Nice little dissonant melodies to kind of accentuate what's coming next in the songs. Shredding leads, but also some like beautiful, like melodic, atmospheric solos, some solid grooves, even wonderful acoustic guitar work towards the end of the album. But as far as like standout tracks for me, it would be The Overlord Disease, the title track where they sing all in Italian, and Lifetime Damage. Like, those songs I think were the big standouts on this. As far as any complaints, honestly, I would say one complaint is that maybe some of the songs just didn't quite capture me as well as some others that I really liked on here. But for the most part, this was really solid. So if you are a fan of Opeth, dare I say, like Crimson 2 era, Edge of Sanity, recent bands like Sermon, or even Evergrey, check this out. This is some pretty good prog metal. I'm going to give this a 3.5. I actually think this is some really cool stuff. This band definitely has potential if they keep going, and who knows where they go from here. But now moving on to the next two, and this is where it gets to be difficult to decide which was better. Next, I'm talking about Eternal with Cryptic Lust. This is an Arizonian-based death thrash band, and this is their debut album. So this was going to be interesting to go over, considering I saw a buddy of mine on Instagram was plugging them, and holy shit, this is some badass death thrash right here. Like, starting off with this like eerie organ intro, and then right away everything you get on here. Nasty tremolos, occasional black metal tremolos, some thrashy rhythms, blast beats, doomy breakdowns here and there, tapping guitars, classic thrash riffing to kind of harken back to 80s thrash a little bit. And also some groove, some double time, triplet chugs up the yin-yang, triplet gallops, and then the production itself, like, it's raw, but the mix is really strong. Like, the bass is audible throughout the entire album in the mix. But also, it ends with a pretty damn good cover of Mayhem's Death Crush, but the standout tracks for me would be Hammer of Eternal Torment, Ancient Rites, the title track, and Cauldron of Entrails. Those were all killer songs, but then again, I would say almost every song rips on here. The only complaint I would really have is the intro and then the interlude. Honestly, I would have just cut those out, and I think this album would have been given a perfect score. But I'm going to give it a 4.5 out of 5. This is a fantastic debut from a new band, and I can't wait to hear what they got in store next. So if you are a fan of particularly Vader, but also Sodom, Massacre, and a new band like Schizophrenia, check this out. But now on to the final album for this week, and it's a big one in the thrash world, Atrophy with Asylum. And this is their first album in 34 years. So this is a long comeback album from these Phoenix-based thrash titans in that same scene as Sacred Reich and Flotsam and Jetsam. Then again, Atrophy's the one from the Phoenix scene that I'm the least familiar with. I know who they are and I've heard some of their stuff, but not to the level of like Flotsam and Jetsam and Sacred Reich. But this album, holy fucking balls. Classic thrash riffs and rhythms up the yin-yang, nasty chug-a-thon of riffs, gruff vocals, like, compared to, like, the early Atrophy stuff I heard, like Socialized Hate, Violent by Nature, the vocals definitely sound better now, at least in my opinion. There's some great melodic lead work all across the board on here, and then there's even some death metal grooves and triplet chugs that come up here and there. Some nice like D beat stomps to give you that Exodus vibe. Breakdowns up the wazoo. Awesome shred. Even some harmonies with the guitars. And there's some really damn good hooks on this album as well. And even occasional clean guitars to kind of add a little bit of extra melody to this album. And to be honest, there's really nothing I could find to complain other than maybe a couple of riffs here and there can sound indistinct, but who cares? They sound killer. Every song on this album rips as well, but the big standouts, Punishment for All, Seeds of Sorrow, Close My Eyes and the Closer, 5 Minutes Till Suicide, those were all fantastic songs, but then again, every song was cool. So if you're a fan of Creator, Testament, Zentrix, and Exodus, check this one out. I am also giving this 4.5 out of 5, so yeah, welcome back, Atrophy. After 34 years, welcome back, boys. But of course, those are all just my opinions. What did you guys think? Of course, the albums themselves will be in the description. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, share, subscribe, all that stuff. Keep your horns high and your dreams wet.